Hey everyone, my name is Brian Liu, and in this video I'd like to share my story with you. A story of how I went from being in constant worry and endlessly searching on the expert health databases like PubMed about my wife's belly problems to her problems rarely being at the front of my mind. My journey begins back in 2000 when my wife and I were sitting in a doctor's office when he told us about her diagnosis of an unpleasant belly problem. At that moment, we didn't understand what the condition meant. It was just bad news. Unexpectedly, I had to rip up my entire life plan and transform myself into a gut researcher. Fortunately, I had the background to do this because I was a former rocket scientist and a semiconductor equipment engineer with a master's from Stanford University. The following 2 years were full of fear, exhausting research, and I had worked no less than 6 hours a day, including weekends, while I had a full-time job. After a year and a half of daily searches, calling researchers, changing what she ate, and doing other things, I felt like I had literally tried everything, and we were out of options. I really wanted to figure out how to get her better, but I felt terrible and helpless because I wasn't able to protect her from her condition. She was fatigued, and we could hardly do the things that young couples could do. This situation drove me crazy because I'd ask myself, how could I design a rocket that could orbit the Earth, but I can't even fix something 1 inch below her skin? After thousands of hours struggling to read and understand all those long words and complicated experiments, I finally made my discovery. I realized that harmful gut bugs were causing my wife's problems, and if I could go after the bad guys, her health could improve. I learned how to feed her gut bugs by preparing the right foods and adding some targeted supplements. Week by week, she slowly started to feel better. After months of never-ending research, the light went off in my head. My epiphany was that a couple things need to happen to get an unhappy belly. Number one, harmful bacteria need to cling onto the inside of your belly. And number two, they spew out toxins or disrupt the healthy chemical balance. It's kind of like the toxins are kicking on the insides of your belly. And many of those toxins can move around your body like an internal smog. When those chemistries move to the wrong places, they can cause trouble. One day I realized I could make my wife feel even better if I could find a super strong and helpful bacteria. This bacteria needed to be a probiotic super strain, one that could kick out the bad guys and block their toxins. This discovery is what enabled me to recruit some of the world's best scientists on my team. One of them, Dr. Frederick Westall, worked elbow to elbow with Jonas Salk, the inventor of the polio vaccine, on a multiple sclerosis vaccine for 13 years at the Salk Institute. The vaccine worked in animals but failed in humans. Although Salk shut down their research, Dr. Westall never gave up and continued to pioneer his ideas. In 2006, he published his masterpiece in the Journal of Clinical Microbiology. His thesis was, when normal gut bacteria die, they break into tiny chemical pieces, and some of those pieces look confusingly similar in shape to other parts of the body. And as a result of all that confusion, our body's natural defenses can turn against us. We also recruited Dr. Richard Blankenbeckler. He was the youngest tenured professor of physics at Princeton in the 1950s. He actually ate lunch every Wednesday with Dr. Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. We also recruited Dr. Michael Einschlag, our in-house patent lawyer, who is a high-energy physicist. We needed him not only for his impeccable intellect, but to record the history we planned to make. After years of deep thinking and debating complicated scientific ideas, my team came up with the criteria to search for the elusive probiotic superstrain. I obsessively searched for a more powerful probiotic than is already on the market because I'd studied the ones that were on the market and I wasn't satisfied with the ones that were already on the shelf. 6 years after we formed our team, we found and were working with the best and most potent probiotic I had ever seen. It's called the B-30892 strain. And in 2014, we formulated and launched Liovi probiotic drink into the market. Within months, we lined up manufacturers and stores who'd take a chance with our new brand. We then started rolling out our probiotic drink Liovi into small local markets in Northern California. We then expanded our distribution into other regions by shipping directly to the customer via web sales and FedEx. As a result of all this, we were able to achieve the following. People come up to us during our in-store sampling demos or call us up to tell us how much better they're feeling after complaining for decades. Healthcare professionals around the United States are also recommending Liovi. One day, one of our customers gave us a call and told me a story that I'd never forget. She told me that before trying Liovi, she'd been going to conferences to learn everything she could to help her son. She had met with several of the top probiotic companies, and in the end, she ended up giving her son 15 capsules a day of each brand, rotating the brands every 3 days. Every few hours, she gave her boy a couple of probiotic capsules, and this went on for 3 months. At the end of 3 months, she was very disappointed because she saw no change. Then she tried Liovi, and 1 week later, she called and she was ecstatic. She could hardly believe the results after she tried bottles and bottles of several other brands earlier for months. I called my team to tell them the good news. That was one of the days along this journey I realized the power of science and of Liovi. This call helped to validate and justify the collective decades of brutally difficult research. So now my wife's life looks completely different. My wife even planned a vacation for us to go to a faraway and isolated place. These are things I could have never imagined a couple decades ago. All of this is possible because my team and I have developed the science of gut bacteria and chemistry and have commercialized a powerful probiotic drink called Liovi. Besides all the great science behind Liovi, thousands of people have been drinking Liovi and reporting great results with it. I now have a peace of mind. I can go to sleep without the fear of what's going to happen next that I used to. This peace of mind has been priceless to me. Now, the reason my team and I worked so hard to develop Liovi was because we believed we could not just help my wife, but for people like you, your friends, and your loved ones. If my story has resonated with you, and you'd like to learn more about your gut bacteria and its effects on your health, and how you could get your hands on some Liovi, I recommend that you click on the link on or around this video so that you can move on to the next step of your journey towards a better life.
I would recommend Liovi to my friends, my family, everybody. It has been the most important product that I have added to my diet that I can even think of. It literally has changed my life.
I had ordered the vanilla. It tasted like dessert. I was so excited.
Hi, I'm Corey, and I have 3 children, and we've been using Liovi since January of 2018, and school life is better, home life is better, and we highly recommend it.